Hi, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to show you 3 different braids that I'm making for this senior mom for the 2023 season. For the first one, I'm doing my new Peyton braid, and I'm using white acetate or luster and pewter. So the pewter is in the center. You just shape the ribbons like this. This is 9/16 inch ribbon. I do have another video tutorial for this if you haven't seen that yet, and I use 3 different colors of ribbon to help with the teaching process. So this is a roll of glitter ribbon from the Dollar Tree. Those I think it's 5/8 inch width, and I just wanted to see how long of a braid I would get by using one of those rolls. So it's a brand new roll, and I'm just going to braid until I run out of that. So I layered that on top of the pewter. So I would have the pewter on the back side, and I'm just trying to make a V shape there. You've got one in the center, and then you kind of make a V shape or a point or an arrow at the top, however you want to say that, and then put a staple in it. And I'm putting that green behind it so you can see better what I'm doing. Then I'm going to make a loop on with the left ribbon, and I'll put another staple in that. Just making sure it's straight. Just like that. That's how you start it. And you'll start with the, well, you usually start with the left ribbon, but I guess I started with the middle one that time. I don't know that it matters. I've made a few of these now, so, and I know I started a lot of them with the left ribbon, but, you know, I made a loop with the left ribbon, so you could technically say you've already started with that one. And you're just doing a military braid, but instead of 2 ribbons, you're doing 3 ribbons. And you just go from left to right. So I'm already back to the left ribbon. Now I'm in the middle ribbon, and then I'll do the right ribbon. So it's just a continuous left, middle, right, left, middle, right, left, middle, right. The trick with this braid, though, is not to over tighten the ribbons, because you won't get the kind of, it's kind of a triangular shape is kind of what you end up with. And the top of it while you're braiding will kind of look like a, almost like a double box braid or a box braid. And what I mean by top of it is what you're seeing as you're braiding. So pull those. So I tend to go a little bit more loosey-goosey, but don't make it like super loose. There's just like this nice little area where you can't be too tight with it or too snug with the ribbons, and you can't be too loose either. So you've got to find the perfect tightness and looseness, and it's very important that you make sure that they are all that exact same tightness and looseness to get a good looking braid. So it's the only difficulty part of this braid is just knowing how to tighten, how much to tighten each ribbon. So when I'm pulling there, that's what I'm talking about, tightening them. You don't want to overdo it, or it just comes out kind of flat and misshapen. It doesn't look good. I've been trying to make a few of these to, you know, really get the braiding technique down. So that's what I suggest if you haven't made it yet. And if you have some scrap ribbons, use those and just braid it, unravel it, braid it again, and just keep doing it until you can get it down really well. And just use single layer of like this acetate or luster if you've got it. And then, like I said, just use those 3 ribbons and just keep braiding it over and over until you've really got it down. And then you can use some good ribbons, and then you can double up the ribbons and layer the ribbons and all that good stuff. But just get the technical part down first before you attempt it. And this braid turned out really, really well. I was really happy with it. And you can do this with 7/8. When I did my first tutorial, I said I didn't know for sure if you could, because I had tried doing it with layering that glitter ribbon, and it did not turn out like this braid at all, but I've tried it with just lusters or acetates, and it turned out really well. So it is possible. I'll just have to play around with it again with layering the ribbon with like glitter ribbons and see. I also did that when we didn't have any electricity, so I couldn't see real well in my craft room. It was pretty dark. So it wasn't the best time to do, to work on a braid, but I was desperate to do some crafting. That ribbon on the right too is the one that I noticed if you over tighten that it really will misshape the braid. So make sure you're, like I said, you're not over tightening that. Leaving it a little loosey-goosey, not like huge loose. It's just, there's just perfect like middle ground there, and you have to find that. It's the only difficult part. And you see, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it was looking. I just unravel it and start over. I'm showing that because I don't want y'all to get frustrated and say it's not working for you. And so you see, I'm still playing with it. There, I believe I started with that left ribbon first that time too. And you can unravel it and start over, and it looks fine. It's not going to look bad. I think I was over tightening some of them. It's just such a habit from making military braids. I always make them really snug, and sometimes my military braids curl in a little too much because I make them so snug. So it depends on how snug you make them too. And sometimes the ribbons just want to come undone. Sometimes they stay. You know, sometimes like the lusters or the acetates, they just want to pull apart. They don't want to stay where you put them. So it can be kind of frustrating. I would say if you don't know how to make a regular military braid, I would start with that before you start making any other kind of military braids. Because there's a lot of braids out there that are off of the military braids. You got double and triple, and then you got Mobius and Bubble and all that good stuff. Now the Payton, and I know there's some other ones out there. I did one called Twisted, and that one's for my VIP members. That's slightly different braiding technique. Like I said, I'm just going from left to right, left to right. Okay, that's the right ribbon, and that's what I'm talking about. Make sure you're really not over tightening that one. For some reason, the right ribbon for me is the one that will screw the whole thing up. And I'm just kind of showing you where it's tightening up at. So don't over tighten that one, because you will end up, if you do it correctly, you'll end up with this kind of triangular shape, and it will twist the braid. The longer you make it, the more of a twist you'll get. Now, if you do keep this hung up after you make it and you hang it up for a while, it will kind of stretch out and kind of lose some of the twist. So be careful of that. All right, now I'm going to finish it off because I'm running out of ribbons. So I'm cutting off the acetate. I ran out of the glitter ribbon. Again, I used a roll of that Dollar Tree glitter ribbon that you can get during just about any time of the year. They sell it seasonally, different colors seasonally, and I always stock up on that stuff. I love it. It's like, and I'm pretty sure it's 5/8 inch. And I can't remember the length. I'm going to guess 3 yards because I think that's about what most of their ribbons are, 3 yards. So that would be what I used, and ended up, was it 29 inches? I think that's what it was. I'm trying to measure it there. 28. And I am using, and I'm making 30-inch braids and chains or ribbon streamers on that mum, except for I kind of tapered it up. But this braid, I knew that I wanted to drape it from one side to the other side on that braid, so it really didn't matter it being exact, but it still would have been close enough. I could have attached something at the bottom to make it a little bit longer. So here's what it looks like, and I've shown it like on the live and stuff. It turned out really, really pretty. I was very happy with it, even though I had to unravel it and start over. No big deal. All right, so I'm gonna make a love braid, and wasn't planning on making a very long one. Obviously, if you see my measurements, I just wanted to make a small one to do some kind of little accent thing with the mum, but I didn't even look at my measurements and see to get a good guess. So it ended up being a little bit smaller than what I wanted. I'm not even sure that I'm going to use it on the mum, but since I did make it for that, I will show it. So I'm just measuring out the same length. I'm doubling the ribbons because yikes, you need to double those ribbons, right, guys? Now, it does make a better looking braid on most braids if you double the ribbons. Not all of them. Some of them are fine without doubling them. A love braid, it will come out, I think, better if you double the ribbons. And so again, I'm using pewter and white in either luster or acetate, and then just pinching it and then doubling it. Now you want to make a V shape, and you start on the left and then the right. Stack them up where it makes, where the point, they all come together. And it's like you're looking at a V. So 2 on the left, 1 on the right. And then you want to give that 1 or 2 staples. If you make a long one, you're going to need a lot of ribbon, and it can be kind of a fight with those ribbons, but that's just the way it is. Okay, so down with the right and down with the back left, and then the back front goes up. And then that goes over to, whoops, I messed that up. So the bottom goes up, the bottom left goes up and to the right, and then you'll come down with that one. There will only be one ribbon that's up at any given time. So if you go up, go up with the right ribbon, now you come down with that ribbon. Then you're going to go up with that one and come down with that one. You can slow this down if you need to. Just click on the settings on the video and the playback speed, and you can slow that down. And I do have other tutorials for this in different colors. This one wasn't necessarily for teaching purposes, really just to show you what I'm making for that senior mom. You can learn from it, but it's a little bit difficult with the white on gray here, and my matte being gray. I'll try to zoom in on this a little bit too. and maybe slow. Well, I've already edited the video, so I am doing voiceovers. I can't slow down, it'll mess up my voiceovers. But like I said, you can adjust the speed, the playback speed, and you can slow it down. And you can slow it all the way down to 2, which will make it go really slow, and you can sit there and braid with it. So if you're having trouble, I would do it like that. Now there's a box braid and a love braid, and they are very, very similar. You come out with a very, very similar braid, but the braiding technique is a little different. As this one was a V, the box braid is a T, like Tom. And I have tutorials for both. I used to use the box braid version, and then I learned this technique, and I like the love braid better. I think you get a tighter braid with the love braid, but it's just up to you which version you prefer. And it's just a constant same technique over and over. You come down, you go up, you come down, you go up. I bring that one up so I know the other one that's up comes down. And then I'm going to bring that one up so I know that one that was up comes down. Just constant. I'm going up, so I'm bringing that one down. Now I'm going up with that one, so that one will come down. So it's just constant like that. So you know which one is next, because you can't have 2 up. Come down with that one, and then up with the left one, and then down with that one, and then go back to the right, go up, go down, go up. So it's just constantly like that. I think it's a pretty easy braid, and maybe it's because I know to always have 2 at the bottom and 1 at the top, so you always know which one is next by that. For me anyway, I think that's easier, but you know, for some people it may not be. It turned out to be a really pretty braid. It's just very short, so I may not be able to do anything with it. I've got some ideas, but also the mum is not real huge either, so I've already made like 8 braids for it, so not including this one, I have 8 that are tentatively attached to it. This one will make your hand cramp, though. I will tell you that, because that left hand is holding it like so, and you can't let go of it or it'll come undone. So that can cause some hand cramping. I'm probably going to have some issues with braids like this year. You just keep going until you run out of ribbon. I'm just trying to clean that up a little bit. See, I may attach it into a circular pattern and hang it from the mum somehow like that. I did that last year too. I think I gave it a twist though. See, you just glue those two ends. And so now you have a circle. It's just something different, something fun. I think it, what was it, 11 inches, something like that. So I probably could have made a little bit longer one, but it's okay. I might be able to do something with it. You can also, you know, make another one and try to attach them together. Probably look fine. But I'll do something with it. If not this mum, another one. Okay, so now I'm going to do a military. And I was doing this while watching Connie's premiere, so I kept stopping and commenting. So you'll see several little breaks. It was because I kept putting it down and commenting. I'm just showing you that I doubled the ribbons. Make a nice stiff braid. And this is just going to be a regular military braid until I get to a certain point, and then I'm going to turn it into a bubble. Now this one I plan on draping as well. So kind of wanted to have fun with it. I measured about 30 inches of regular military, and then I started doing a bubble. See, I just commented, so that's why there was a break there. And military braids are super simple, just back and forth. Make a loop. Put it inside the other loop. Pull that, make it snug, and then make a loop, put it inside the other loop. Pull that to make it snug. So you're just going back and forth, and that's what you get. Super simple. Another comment. I kept laying it down, so I had to do quite a bit of editing on this one. But I decided to go ahead and do 3 braids on this video. And I still have some braids to show. Like I said, I think I ended up with 6 that I have on it right now, and that wasn't including the love braid. No, it was more than 6. Was it 6 hanging down and then 2 draping? So 8? I think that's what it was. We talked about it on the live because I hung them up and different to kind of show how I want to attach them. So I'm just going to keep braiding until I get to that 30-inch mark, and then I'll start a bubble. Okay, so here's where I start the bubble. And I had just watched Connie's video on how to do the bubble, so I wanted to try it, and I already measured 30 inches for the regular military, and I was like, why not? I still had quite a bit of ribbon left over. Now this will use a lot more ribbon doing this, but I had the ribbon and had enough of the military to definitely do draping anyway, so I said, why not add something a little different, and I'm glad I did. And I don't know if I'm making those too snug or not, those bubbles, the bubble part of it. I don't know if you're supposed to leave those a little bit more loose, like bigger, but this is how I was doing it. It was my first one, so you guys can watch me do my first one. So you're just doing a military. You can see it right there where it's bubbling now, where you've got a little bit different technique going on. And you just push that through the loop. And then come out on the outer side. I messed that up at the beginning. I heard Connie talking about it, but I still went on the inside instead of the outside. Keep wanting to fold my loops wrong. Push that in there and then pull it out on the outer side of that bubble loop you just made. That way you can make your loop to go inside the other loop for the regular military part, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to say it. You're going inside that loop to make your bubble, but you're pulling it out on the outer side. That way you can make your loop, and it'll go inside that loop. Because if you pulled it out through the middle, like the inner side, you wouldn't be able to make that loop. It wouldn't give you the same look. And this is a little bit more time consuming. It's not difficult though. It does take more ribbon, it is more time consuming, but go for it, try it, have fun with it. I don't know all the measurements on that yet. I don't even know how much ribbon I had left over when I started the double. They rhyme. I wish I would have measured that so I knew how much I came up with, and I'm sure Connie, I know she said how much she used and what she ended up with. And if I remember correctly, it was like 3 yards, and she ended up with 18 inches, I want to say. Maybe that was a different braid. But go check out her video for tutorial purposes. And if you come up with some measurements, be sure to comment so other people know what measurement you used. And I just do this until I run out of ribbon. These are really pretty layered too. Connie made some that were layered that were really pretty. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching, you guys. And if you haven't seen the other videos that go with this Senior Mom, I've got them all in a playlist. It's like Senior Mom. It's got 2023 in it. So it's a series, and it's going to have anything where I worked on the Senior Mom is going to be in that playlist. So I just added a little Lucy and Kit Kat fun there. That was before they got their haircuts. I think that was when we went to the vet. Taking both of them to the vet at the same time was not fun. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Happy mom making, happy crafting, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I'll catch you all on the next one.